Hey, hope everyone's staying safe, so I know what you're thinking. You're one excuse to do a video that isn't about caped heroes, and you make it about caped heroes. Matt Draper came to you and was like, hey, you idiot, you only talk about superheroes, but you love all kinds of movies, especially horror. Be a part of this collaboration. Talk about that one horrifying moment that stuck with you. You made your short film, nobody cared. Now talk about something different and escape this self-inflicted pain and god-awful self-loathing. Yeah. Let me tell you something, Chief. I was halfway through writing an Eraserhead video before this idea came to me. In fact, this month I watched Mulholland Drive, Eraserhead, The Descent, Suspiria, The Evil Dead, Mr. Jones, Noroi, The Curse, Rosemary's Baby, Our Baby, The Plumber, Please Watch It, Hereditary, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Deep Red, Halloween, Halloween H2O, Halloween Movie, The American Murder, The Family Next Door, Evil Dead 2, The Vanishing, Haunting of Bly Manor, Hell House LLC, The Shining. Some of those I had seen before, some of them for the first time, some of those were great, some not so great, some of those moments were truly horrific, but none of them felt 100% right. None of those moments felt like I could talk about them with the same passion and energy I put into the usual video. Then I was listening to some music, and for some goddamn reason, YouTube recommended me The Goddamn Plumber, and then recommended alongside The Plumber, a certain goddamn clip popped up. A scene from something I truly adore, but a moment I had not seen in years. This one moment that horrified me as a child and has been stuck in my brain ever since. Let's talk about Feet of Clay. But first, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Filmora 10. Making videos is scary. Editing videos is even scarier. I first learned how to edit with Windows freaking Movie Maker, and even that was impossible at first glance. That's why I'm excited to share Filmora 10 with you dudes today. Filmora 10 is a popular editing software for both beginners and experienced video editors. It's easy to use, packed full of fantastic features, slick transitions, sexy filters, sexier effects, animated title templates, and even royalty-free music so you can avoid those soul-shattering copyright claims. I whipped this up in about 5 minutes, and with the new features they've added, it's easier to use than ever. They got motion tracking, keyframing, color matching, audio ducking, and more. I'm a fan of the simple but magical motion tracking. Set a point, add some text, and boom. You're done. Listen, now is the perfect time to try editing your first video. Become an editor without fear with Filmora 10. Click that link in the description and try it for free today. And what's even cooler, Filmora 10 is giving away a 1-year license to one of you goblins who leaves a comment below with your experience with the software. So give it a try today and let me know how it goes down below in the comments. Thanks, guys. You know, Batman the Animated Series is not only one of the best pieces of American animation, probably ever, it is undoubtedly, to me, the best, most definitive take on Batman. I could go on for hours about the show, and maybe someday I will. You know I fucking will. But today we are here to get spooky. We forget how spooky Batman can be, right? How spooky and rooted in horror the Batman first was. Before the mad criminal clown, there was the mad vampire monk and the doctor named Death. Before the Two-Face, the Scarface, there was the Clayface. And Clayface is pretty fucking freaky, right? And this might be the best take on him. Definitely biased because it was my first exposure to the character, but there is something about a classic movie star turning into a classic movie monster. The actor who can fully inhabit any character being forcefully turned into a Cronenbergian monster who can turn his hands into lobster claws. You know why Batman's rogues are these great everlasting icons? Because most of the time, they aren't just villains, they are victims. Victims of abuse, victims of mental illness, victims of their own ego. The animated series went all in on this. They solidified this idea. They were never afraid to tackle adult themes, terrifying concepts, reinvent and redefine these villains while never forgetting to tell a story about Batman. Feet of Clay is all about identity, mistaken identity, and lack of identity. Actor Matt Hagen suffered a terrible accident that left him disfigured, his hopes of a career gone. His identity and sense of self is defined by that career. It's all that matters, and when that's taken away from him, he turns to a highly addictive face cream that allows him to shape that identity back to what it was. Allows him to hold on to Matt Hagen, actor. Allows him to stay addicted to the persona he has spent years shaping himself into.
It probably ain't good for me, but unless I only want to do horror pictures, it ain't bad for me either.
Just like Bruce. Bruce is so consumed with Batman, so consumed by the symbol he has spent his entire life shaping himself into, that he completely neglects Bruce Wayne. He creates a false character, a lie, a bland billionaire that no one truly knows or even cares to know. His partners don't even know him. In this episode, Hagen adopts the face of Bruce Wayne and attacks Lucius Fox, and Fox immediately believes it. The police believe it, the people believe it. And our boy Bruce doesn't even notice at first, or care to notice. He's too busy being Batman.
Bruce Wayne sought for questioning in attempt on executive's life? But that's impossible.
He's so oblivious to the idea that Bruce Wayne needs to be more than just a name, a pretty face, a deep pocket.
Imagine Lucius Fox thinking I would harm him.
And he's been with you, what, 10 years now, sir?
Both Bruce and Matt have no identity. This is their character flaws, their feats of clay. Batman gives the shittiest performances, Bruce, and Hagen gives such fantastic performances that there is no real Hagen.
My career and life, it is gone, and I can never get it back. I'm not an actor anymore. I'm not even a man.
The characters they create are their true selves, their real face, the mask, with nothing underneath. And that leads both of them to become terrifying creatures of the night. And in this one horrifying moment, the moment where Bruce confronts Matt, where Batman confronts Clayface, Matt Hagen is forced to face that reality. All his parts, his characters, his career, his life.
What are you doing? Stop it!
Look at them, Hagen. Look at what you used to be.
No. No. Turn them off.
You can play those roles again, Hagen. Let me help you find a cure.
But he doesn't want that. He doesn't want to go back to that, to those, to Hagen.
No! Hagen's gone! Make him stop haunting me!
He is painfully, agonizingly forced to face his truth. Forced to transform into all his roles, his various identities.
Stop it! Turn them off! I can't control it! I can't be all of them! Not all at once!
And he can't stand it, because he himself has none. All he really is, all he has ever been, is a vessel. A performance.
You know what I'd have given for a death scene like this? Too bad I won't get to read the notices.
A shell.
I wouldn't be surprised if the body they took to the morgue was only a shell. Don't forget, first and foremost, Hagen was an actor. He said it himself, Alfred. He called it a scene. Maybe the greatest scene of his career.
Brilliantly written by Michael Reeves, directed by Kevin Altieri, voice directed by the unsung hero of the entire series, Andrea Romano, conducted by the legend Shirley Walker, and perfectly performed by Ron Perlman and Kevin Conroy. It's a moment of pure art, tragic terror expertly executed. But why is this my moment? What about this outside of the body horror and artistry unsettles me to my core? Just in concept, in thought, identity is a scary thing, and realizing that both our villain and our hero can't seem to get a grasp on it makes us realize how thinly defined our identities are. Is Matt Hagen's fate his fault? Is his own vanity his undoing? Maybe. But we also played a part. We tend to value the looks of an actor over their talent, and that value makes him turn into the resentful monster he may have always been deep down. But can you blame him? People strive to create that perfect face, the perfect reflection. We idealize it. And that's the scariest part. All of us are like Hagen in some way, especially Bruce in his never-ending internal struggle between the Bat or the man. When all is said and done, when the charges against Bruce Wayne have been dropped, the only one who seems to care is Alfred. Bruce is preoccupied with his true self. We face that same battle every day. Our true self versus our personas. We long for our brilliant death scene. We long to be rewarded for our talents. We long to be noticed, make an impact. heart. And sometimes we scramble to find that identity within ourselves that will get us that recognition. Some of us dress that identity up. Some of us cast a spotlight on it. And some of us broadcast our identities to the world to get judged. The horrifying question we are afraid to but must ask ourselves: do we define that identity, or does that identity, that person we create in the mirror, end up defining us?